This video is sponsored by EA Game Changers. Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to my channel. Now this is another solid color build challenge house that I built, and this time we're doing the color white. Now I will leave the rules to this challenge as well as the color wheel that I created, using all the available color options that we have in game that we can sort by. I will leave both of those links in the description down below. Now as you can see, this is definitely more of a modern build, and you can see I cut out the layout as well as placing the doors and the windows, just because it isn't all that interesting and it took me quite a while to get the placement of everything right. Now you will see that I used some more of the new windows that came with Jungle Adventures, and these windows I absolutely love. For some reason they seem to fit quite well in a modern build, at least I think so, and I love placing these green bushes on top of the roof. Even though they're not white, I thought I could make an exception to that without breaking the rules too much. Now this house doesn't have a whole lot of landscaping or much of a yard at all. It's definitely not for a family with smaller children, even though it does have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It has a master bedroom as well as a bedroom that could possibly be for a teenager, and another bedroom that could be even for a teenager or a child. Now all these colors are definitely white, even though I used some light gray colors just to accent the build a little bit, to give it a bit more definition in the colors. But I do love building with white, especially when it's a more modern build. I feel like it suits the build very well if you use some white and light colors outside, even though I tend to do some darker modern builds as well. Now what you see me doing now, I cut out most of it since it took me quite a while to get the placement of all those right, and these bushes and that bit of landscaping that I'm doing there, you will see in just a bit I cut some of that out too, because I rearranged it a few times until I was happy with it. Now these plants that I'm using right here are from the new pack that I couldn't use in my previous build, but I used it in this because I really love having plants that cover the ground a bit, that aren't too tall. And these bushes are also from the pack, which I love. It has a real, I don't know, tropical rainforesty feel to them, and I love plants that are like that, since I love using just green bushes in most of my builds, especially big bushes that look really lush and vibrant in color. Now this is the bit that I cut out because I rearranged these bushes that I'm placing right here and plants and succulents quite a few times. Now that is the final arrangement, and you'll see that I removed one of the bamboo trees that I placed there because it just seemed to fit a bit better. Now moving on to the inside, the downstairs is an open plan kitchen, living and dining area. The house only has a small-ish living space and a small dining table on the inside, but there is a 6-seater round table just outside on the patio, where I am going to be putting a jacuzzi in just a while. Now the upstairs landing has a computer desk, a bookshelf and a seating area, since I couldn't fit a computer desk downstairs. And upstairs there are 2 bathrooms as well as the 3 bedrooms, and the master bedroom doesn't have an ensuite, but there is a rather large bathroom right next door to it. Yes, here you'll see me fiddling around with the dining tables, seeing if I could fit a larger one in, but I settled for this one since I really like this table. It's really simplistic while still being modern and not too plain, shall I say. Now this kitchen, I really loved putting the fridge under the stairs like that, and I have play tested it and it does work with the fridge there. Now on this little dividing wall behind the sink and the dishwasher, I'm going to be putting some cabinets up the top, and I will be adding a mirrored backsplash to that side and to the side behind the bar. Now, these plants that I'm placing across the window took me ages to get the placement right, so I cut that all out as well. And you can see how it looks right now, and that's how it's going to stay. I didn't use a lot of curtains in this build, mainly because I feel like modern builds don't really have big heavy drapes or something like that. I love using just one tile white curtains in modern builds and placing it to the side of the window so it looks like it can draw across the whole window. Now, I love the living room. It's probably my favorite place in the whole house, except maybe the master bedroom, but we'll get to that in a bit. I love that coffee table from Vintage Glamour Stuff. It is one of my favorite coffee tables in the game. And there in the corner you can see I've used the size down sheet to create an interesting looking little end table area with some varying degrees or heights of end tables. And I was struggling a really long time to find an object that I could raise up to the right height without it clipping too much to put on that table, and eventually I settled on those books since the clipping was less noticeable than with other objects. And you will see that in this build I do use a lot of plants. I love placing plants in corners and having a little arrangement of 2 to 3 plants at varying heights. I love doing that in builds since I really am a plant lover, and the chances of not finding plants in one of my builds are very slim, since I basically can't build without plants. They're one of the biggest things that I use to decorate the house, and if I had to not use plants, the house would feel very empty. Now, the counters and the cabinets that I use in that kitchen are from the Jungle Adventures pack, and I absolutely love them. They are by far my favorite counters in the whole game. I love that they come in neutral colors as well as some brighter swatches, so you can basically use it for any style, modern, traditional, anything you can think of. You will probably find a counter that fits. Now, I'm using them in the bathroom again, and that sink is also from the new pack, and I absolutely love that. It almost reminds me of custom content, something I've seen Peacemaker do, and I love that we have something in the game that looks like that, since I don't think we have a lot of counters that can pass for modern and traditional at the same time. And those showers are something that I really love. I love that we finally have a shower in game that has big glass sides and doesn't have all that, what you call it, framework around it. That's big and glass and modern. I absolutely love that. And those bathtubs as well are also new. And I love that they come in a white swatch, which can make them look really modern and fit in, and it made them fit in really well into this build. Now, you'll see we're just adding some posters that I could find that had a lot of white in them so that it could fit with this build. Now, you will see us moving on to the bedroom in a while, I think, after we finish the bathrooms. I decided not to cut out the bathrooms since the house isn't very big, so there wasn't a really big reason for me to cut them out. Now, this bedroom I absolutely love. Now, you'll see me fiddling around with the headboard a bit, and the idea of using not that but the other ones that I had a minute ago, I will use them to create a custom headboard for the bed. And this is an idea I actually saw Miss Griffey do a while back in her big mansion build that she did, and I absolutely loved it. She actually sized the sign up, but I just used 2 of them to make it a bit smaller to fit it in the room better. Now, I love this room. I love how modern it is, even though I do clutter it a lot and there isn't a lot of open space. Usually my builds won't have open space since I love clutter. I love putting clutter in absolutely everything, and the word minimalistic really isn't in my vocabulary when it comes to building. I love watching other people do minimalistic builds, but I never seem to be able to do it myself. It always feels like I'm doing a half a job if I try it, even though it looks great when other people do it. It's just one of those weird things where you love seeing other people do it, but you just can't seem to do it just right. I guess that's what bothers me about it when I try it. But yeah, and I love placing mirrors like I did right there at two different heights. Not really as a functional object, even though I'm sure they probably would work, but more of as a decorative object for homes, since I love using mirrors as decorations, especially if they have some kind of ornate frame or something that it can really add a lot to a room if you use it right. Now this is one of the two extra bedrooms for children or teenagers, and I love this bedroom as well since I added a bookcase and a little desk area with a computer. I would really like a room like this myself, even though mine would probably be black instead of white since I can't stand white furniture in real life. It always just seems to get really dirty really fast, especially if you have animals like I do. But then again, I have a white cat, so black furniture probably wouldn't be smart either. Now what I did with the mirror above that dresser I really like, because that wall piece that came with Dine Out, I think, also has a mirrored back, so it looks like it's one big piece, like it's one built-in piece, shall I say. And this is definitely a room that I thought would be more for a teenager, since there isn't any toys around and there's a computer. So yeah, I definitely thought it would be more for a teenager. Now the room that we're doing now, I first intended it for a toddler, but then I thought about, well, then I would have to add a toddler potty and a high chair. The rest of the house really isn't designed to be very child friendly, or at least not for young children, since there isn't really a backyard and play space and all of that. So this room is definitely more for a child. It has some toys, not really a lot of toys, mainly just that bear, and it has a small desk area for them to do their homework or whatever you want to have them do. And the wall decor, if I can remember right, yeah, it's definitely more for a younger sim more than a teenager, although I would definitely have that in my room as well. But yeah, I love those flip-flop lights that we got with a holiday update, and around December I think, that came with the summer Christmas style holiday update. I really like that, and I was having a really hard time finding pictures that are white, that would fit with the white theme of the house, that could go in a kid's room. So that's why it has that really random bowling picture in there. And this is the landing area that I just added a bookcase in and some seating and a computer that could be for the whole house's use. Now my builds usually have a lot of random seating areas in them, because I can't build with dead space. So if there's a space in a house that has nothing in it, chances are I will probably chuck a plant or some kind of seating area in there, just as a way to fill the space. Now yeah, this is basically the whole house. After we do this, we're basically done with the whole thing. Now I'm going to be adding some screenshots at the end of this, and so you can stay tuned for that. I will also share some screenshots of work in progresses, so if you ever want a sneak peek at what I'm working on, I will be sharing those on my Twitter, which will be in the description. And yeah, if you have any more ideas for build challenges that you'd like to see me do, or ideas for apartments or homes or creator sims, if you have any interesting backstories for sims that you'd maybe like to see me have a go at creating, just leave them in the comments down below, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this build. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye!